covering the community, the people, events, and issues of Georgia, Carolina. This is the Means Report. Now, from the studios of WJBF News Channel 6 in Television Park in downtown Augusta, here's Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Means Report. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy weekend to watch us. Hope that you are making it through the last few weeks, we hope, of the hot weather and getting ready for back to school. Can you believe it? It certainly is a busy time for everybody involved. And we want to bring to light a couple of items to you today on the Means Report. Our first subject we're going to tackle is the subject of addiction. I'll tell you why in just a minute. But after that segment, we're going to have representatives of the one and only Kroc Center back on the set of the Means Report to talk about their busy time leading up to their grand opening August 6th. We cannot wait to celebrate it with them. And we're going to have a couple of gentlemen from the Kroc Center to tell you how you can not only take part in that festive event, but also become a permanent part of the Kroc Center through a wonderful membership opportunity that is in effect right now. But first, we want to talk about the topic of addiction. And the reason that we caught this idea and turned it into a broadcast was unfortunately because of the death of Amy Winehouse, the troubled, tortured singer, but ever popular, tragically being part of a trend and dying at the age of 27. She'd suffered from addiction problems. We don't know what caused her to die yet. She joins a club, though, that you don't want to be a part of, really. Jim Morrison of The Doors, dying at 27, also plagued with drug problems throughout his young life. Same goes for legendary Janis Joplin, 27 years old when the music world lost her. So here we go, another life lost much too soon to addiction. And we know that it's not just celebrities. They get the spotlight and their addictions get all the attention, but it happens right here at home to the best of us. All socioeconomic lines are crossed when it comes to addiction. Fortunately, there's a facility right here in the CSRA to help people deal with it, overcome it, and get their lives, their families, their jobs back together. It's Hope House. We've talked about it a lot. Jenny Montgomery has been actively involved in Hope House and has talked about it a lot over the years, so I hope that you're familiar with it when I mention the name. And I'm grateful to have two representatives of Hope House with us today on the Means Report. They are Rosemary Forrest and Alicia Taylor. Rosemary and Alicia, thank you so much, first of all, for what you do for those battling addictions, and second of all, for being here.
Thank you.
Let's begin with either one of you, really, just to give a brief overview of what Hope House does, and then we'll get into the subject of addiction itself and maybe shed some light on what troubles these singers who've been in the spotlight, what troubles the average businessman or woman or housewife or person on the street. But when someone turns to Hope House, what do y'all do?
Okay, well, I'll take that one.
Sure.
Hope House is a long-term residential treatment facility for women. We take women in from a 13-county area surrounding Augusta. If a woman is pregnant, we will take her from anywhere in Georgia. Hope House provides a program at no charge that helps them overcome co-occurring disorders. That is a mental health disorder and a substance use disorder, which are very common. We take in their children as well, and that makes us unique in this area.
How long do they have to stay there?
Well, nobody has to stay a day. Right. It is not incarceration. It is a voluntary program. We prefer them to stay about a year.
Speaking of incarceration, it's one of the costs of addiction. You see somebody who is being treated not only has to go through the cost to society of the treatment, but also perhaps to be put behind bars because of a law-breaking issue that might come up with somebody who is addicted. Also the cost to employers and just ultimately the cost to family. So it's a wide-ranging cost throughout society. And I guess I'll ask you, Alicia, how heavy that cost is to a family unit, because if you lose one of your family members to addiction, the whole house of cards can come tumbling down.
Right, and that's correct, Brad, but when we look at it from another standpoint, just economically within the community, there's a new report out of SAMHSA that says for every dollar that's spent on treatment, you save $7.46 in its society. And what's it cost families? Not only does it cost families monetarily, it also costs families in trust and emotions. It's not just impossible losing in their home, but as with the Winehouse family, you ultimately might lose your family member if you don't get help. And there is help out there, and there's hope. hope. We've been working in this community for the next year will make 20 years. We are gender specific, that we work with women, but we also work with families. We do family dynamics on the first and third Saturday of every month, but we want to include the family because this isn't just one person's disease. It isn't just the person who's using disease. It's also the family disease because it affects every family member. It affects how you interact with your family members. It affects the family unit and the family structure. There are statistics that are saying that alcoholics aren't just someone who randomly start drinking. 40 to 60% of alcoholics actually have a genetic link to it. So there are all types of reasons why we can say someone might become addicted, but for me, because I am truly a therapist and I believe that everyone can get help, there is the trauma. There is some event in their life that triggered something within them to start using and keep using continuously without the ability to stop.
Why don't they just quit? You know, why can't willpower play a part here and people just kick it cold turkey?
Because this is a disease. We know that the medical model of treatment works. The medical model of treatment is that you have detox, that you have therapy. Once you complete therapy, you then do outpatient. And when I say outpatient, that means that you go to either a lower level of care or you attend support groups like NA or AA, those types of settings, because this is a lifelong disease. It doesn't just stop because you stop the use. The behaviors that were there before you started using will continue to be there once you stop. You can arrest the behaviors, but only through continuously being aware of it.
How do people pay for Hope House if they want to reach out to you, Rosemary?
Well, Hope House, the program itself is at no charge. We are federally and state funded, and we receive some generous grants from right here in the community. We've just become a United Way agency, so we're very proud of that. The only cost to our clients is the cost to rent an apartment, because we do provide independent apartments for each woman or each family. We do not have communal living. We are not a shelter. We are a long-term supportive housing program.
What is something, and I know that there are many examples you could give, but what is something that might make a person start using drugs or alcohol and then become addicted, either because they're genetically predisposed to do so or because for some other reason they can't stop?
Early onset trauma. As a child being traumatized, losing a parent at an early age, perhaps having some type of abuse, such as sexual or physical abuse, that is never took into the counseling session so it can be resolved. And because you don't know how to deal with those feelings as children, you don't have the coping skills, then often you turn to other substances in order to numb you so you can stop feeling the pain, because addiction is about numbing the pain. I want to escape from whatever is causing me this pain, and if I can use and stop that pain for just a little while, then it becomes very, very, as the word says, addictive, because you don't want to continue to feel that pain. But once you face the pain and work your way through it, then you can get to the other side, which is life without using.
I saw a great commercial that's running right now where using is a way to escape yourself, you know, and you're leaving yourself behind. Rosemary, what kind of results have you witnessed over the years with Hope House? I mean, can you put people back together again?
I mean, I think Alicia will agree with me on this. It's a very individualized thing. Some people want help more than others, but overall, the people who come to us really want the help. And when they come and they don't look so good, Brad. You know, their hair is in their face, maybe they have dark circles under their eyes, maybe they're having problems with the person who drove them. And when they leave, they are smiling. We just had our celebration in May, and every single woman spoke, and it was so uplifting hearing the things that they had to say and how they have kicked this and how they are moving on with their lives. So I can't give you numbers. We can often lose track of the women that we treat, but those who keep up with us, they let us know. They let us know. We do a good job, and they do all the work.
Is that what keeps you in the business, Felicia? Just seeing these success stories and seeing somebody go from rock bottom to success?
It is. We were having a meeting, and I told the ladies that what makes me really, really excited is watching women go from just being regular women to being women who are well and healthy and able to live their life independently.
I see people walking the streets sometimes on my way to work that you know need help. What's the first step to reach out, to just call you, to knock on your door? What do you do? How can you get Hope House involved in your life?
Just give us a call. Our phone number is 706-737-9879. Our intake person will take your information. We will call you back and see if you qualify for our program. But the wonderful thing about Georgia is that we have many resources. If Hope House can't help you, then we have a list of resources that we can guide you to, that we can give you other phone numbers and other agencies that might be able to help you also.
Please understand I don't put this next question in a flippant way, but I would ask you if business has picked up since the economy has gone down.
Well, there are more needs than ever, truly. And honestly, what we see is a lot of women calling, having no place to live, and they actually don't fit our program. They are not substance users. They just need some place to live. So there's a great deal of need out there. And we run a waiting list, so there's never an empty apartment at Hope House.
Unfortunately. Have you seen the types of substances change over the years? And if so, what are you seeing out there that's being used?
Well, we have seen it change. I've been in this business for the last 10 years. Initially, when I came into the business, we were looking more at crack cocaine, just powdered cocaine, and alcohol, but now we're seeing an increase in prescription drugs and methamphetamines.
Yep.
And that's what we're seeing coming in with younger women. And the demographics have changed. Where we were once serving one population of women, now we're seeing a different population of women that we're serving.
What are you seeing? What kind of woman comes in?
We're going from women who usually were not of the same social economic status. They were usually lower educated, coming from maybe an impoverished background. Now we're seeing middle class women who are college educated, who may be married, with their children now in defects custody, who are coming and saying, okay, I have a prescription drug problem, I have a methamphetamine problem, and they need help. Their children are being born positive for methamphetamines. So that's the change in the different demographics now.
And again, as you mentioned, Rosemary, the commitment has to be there. So if somebody's watching right now and they're feeling your words tug at their heartstrings, and they're to that point where they're ready to do the work, then you can help.
Then we can help. And if anyone can't remember a phone number, remember 211. That is the United Way helpline. And if we can't help you, someone in this community can.
Yeah, I'm so glad that y'all are part of the United Way now. That's got to help you to be not only under their umbrella, but to be constantly able to turn to them for support, and because they know how to run an organization.
Yes, and I hope everyone will support the United Way, because we're about to enter the campaign, and they help a lot of people in this community.
Yeah, businessmen and women, they're about to start coming to your doors and asking for just a small payroll deduction every couple of weeks, and you won't feel it, but you'll see the benefits in our community for sure.
And one thing, if I may, I'd like to add, is that when you start thinking about people who have substance use disorders, I wish you would think of them as people just like yourself. They just have different problems.
That's well put. Not just somebody walking down the street.
Right. I mean, it could be your brother, your sister-in-law. Personally, I had a couple of people in my family that they were both alcoholics, and it tore the family up. So just think of them as people just like yourself, but they just have different problems.
We will from now on, for sure. Thanks to y'all's presence here today, and I do appreciate once again what Hope House does, so thank you for taking the time to be here.
Well, thank you so much, Brad.
Absolutely. Reach out to them, 211 or hopehouseforwomen.org. They'll be happy to help you, and I hope this segment has helped as well, folks. A lot of people in the community already have benefited from Hope House. And a lot of people in the community are going to benefit from the Kroc Center as it prepares to officially open its doors and become a bright light in our community. Two representatives here to talk about exciting days ahead as the Means Report continues.